Annyeong Buzz. Welcome back to the channel, where we dive into the latest K-pop tea, unpack the hottest stories, and have real conversations, just like fans should. Today's video is a double feature, and we're starting off with something that honestly got me a little fired up. The whole situation with Red Velvet's Irene being unfairly dragged on a Korean forum just because of her facial expression at the airport. Yes, we're going there. So here's what went down. A post went up on the Korean site Pann. Yes, that same Pann where K-nets drop all kinds of opinions, sometimes constructive, sometimes completely messy. This particular post tried to frame Irene as fierce and cold when she arrived back in Korea after a fan signing event in Shanghai with Seulgi. And let's be honest, the word fierce here wasn't used in the Beyoncé kind of way. It was clearly meant to criticize, to paint her as cold and unapproachable. But here's the plot twist. The post backfired. Hard. It went viral, sure, with over 140,000 views, but the majority of the reaction has been people defending Irene. The post is getting hundreds of downvotes, and the comments? They're dragging the original poster more than Irene herself. And honestly, I love to see it, because let's break this down together. Irene was just arriving at Incheon Airport. After a packed schedule, she'd just been at a fan event in Shanghai. International flights, long hours, high-energy events, probably barely any rest. And someone really thought it was fair to take one photo where she looks serious and use that to push some kind of cold diva narrative? I mean, come on. Let's not forget, other photos from that exact same day show Irene smiling, laughing, waving, being warm with fans and reporters. It's not even a matter of catching her off guard. It's literally cherry-picking a single frame and using it to create drama where there is none. And it says a lot that even netizens on Pann, who are sometimes brutally honest to a fault, are pushing back. One person said, "She looks bright though." Another went in even harder, saying, "The kind of people who nitpick celebrities' facial expressions like this are usually the ones who walk around with resting bitch face themselves and get called out for it all the time." Honestly, no lies detected, but it does raise a bigger conversation, and I really want your thoughts on this too. Why are idols still being held to this impossible standard of always smiling, always performing, even in their off moments? Like, sure, they're celebrities, but they're also humans. And if you've ever traveled before, you know the airport is not exactly where you're putting on your best face. You're tired, you're trying to get through immigration, you're dodging flashing cameras, and people still expect you to be, what? A Disney princess? Irene especially has always had that cold beauty aura. It's part of her appeal. She's elegant, composed, not overly bubbly in public, and guess what? That's okay. That's always been her vibe. She doesn't need to be doing aegyo 24/7 to prove she's a kind person. This idea that if a woman isn't smiling, she must be angry or cold or rude, that's such outdated thinking. And I'm not saying that celebrities are above critique, but let's not confuse valid criticism with petty projection. There's a huge difference between calling out bad behavior and nitpicking someone's facial expression just because they don't fit your idea of sweet and soft. I actually remember something similar happening before. Irene's gotten flack for her expressions more than once. And it's so telling that even now, people are still trying to weaponize that. But thankfully, this time, the fandom and even general netizens aren't having it. They're flipping the narrative. People are saying, "She looks stunning. Your choice of words is messed up, and she's seriously so freaking pretty, wow." And I agree. She looked gorgeous in those airport shots, fierce in the good way, like she just stepped out of a CF. Her visuals are strong, and her aura is magnetic, even when she's just walking through arrivals. But I really want to know what you think. Do you feel like idols are expected to be on all the time? Is the pressure different for female idols versus male idols? And do you think Irene is being unfairly targeted here, or is this just another day in the life of a top-tier visual? Let me know in the comments. I know this is one of those topics that can spark a lot of opinions, and I'm honestly so curious to hear yours. Do you feel like we as fans sometimes expect too much from our idols emotionally? Or do you think public figures should always be aware of how they present themselves, even in casual settings like the airport? Go ahead, share your take. Be honest. Let's talk about it. And speaking of idols who just can't seem to catch a break no matter what they do, let's talk about BLACKPINK's Jennie. Yeah, we need to talk about what's been happening to her lately, especially after that recent video from the Deadline show went viral. If you've seen the clip, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Jennie was performing Jump, and mid-performance, she suddenly moved away and started clutching her eye in obvious pain. But what did she do? She tried to push through it. She literally kept going while holding her eye. Turns out the cause was firework dust getting into her eye. Yep, from the stage effects, and the clip blew up fast. It's already passed over 1.2 million views, and of course, people had opinions. Some were sympathetic, sure, but a huge chunk of the reaction was negative, and not in a constructive way. Some comments were like, why is it always Jennie with the problems? Or, she's always the one stopping or messing up. And I'm just sitting here thinking, really? A literal injury from stage fireworks is now a reason to criticize someone? This is where I get frustrated, and I think a lot of you probably feel the same way. Because it's starting to feel like Jennie is stuck in this impossible situation where no matter what she does, someone will find a reason to tear her down. Let's break it down. When Jennie takes a pause during a performance because of technical issues or health concerns, she gets hate for being lazy or unprofessional. But then when she powers through a performance while literally injured, people still pile on, saying she's drama or always the problem. So what exactly do people want from her? And the sad part is, this isn't new. There's been a growing hate train toward Jennie for months now, especially since the Deadline show started. You can feel it. It's like there's this section of the internet that's just waiting to pounce on her every move. And the reason? Half the time, it's not even clear. Some of it feels like plain old misogyny. Some of it feels like jealousy. And some of it, just people being chronically online and looking for something to be mad about. And I get it. Jennie's a massive star. She has influence, power, and presence. But that shouldn't mean people get to dehumanize her. Here's the thing that really gets me. We always say idols are human too, but when it's someone like Jennie, people forget that. Imagine trying to focus on an intense, high-energy performance, and suddenly your eye is burning from a pyrotechnic gone wrong. She didn't run off stage. She didn't stop the song. She kept going, clearly in discomfort. If anything, that's professional. But what's happening instead? She's trending online, not because she slayed the stage, but because people are dissecting her reaction to pain. And can I just say, this is also an issue with how the fandom space is evolving. There's this weird entitlement now, where fans think they can dictate how idols behave even in moments of distress. Like, no idol should have to push through pain just to avoid backlash. That's not a healthy expectation. And it's not even just Jennie anymore. We've seen it happen to idols like Karina, Jimin, Cha Eunwoo. If they show too much emotion, too little emotion, don't smile at the right time, miss one beat, cough, blink weirdly, boom, viral clip. Endless judgment, no context, just criticism. But with Jennie, it hits different. Because she's had to carry so much of BLACKPINK's fame on her back for years. She's not just an idol, she's a fashion icon, a global ambassador, a role model for many. That level of pressure? Insane. And yet, she's still expected to perform flawlessly, smile nonstop, and never ever make a mistake. It's just not sustainable. So I'm gonna say it. I think the hate Jennie's getting lately has less to do with her actual behavior and more to do with people projecting their own stuff onto her. It's not about that eye injury. It's about people wanting to bring down someone who seems untouchable. And listen, I'm not saying Jennie is perfect. Nobody is. But she deserves basic empathy. And if we as fans actually care about idols, we need to do better than this. So let's turn it to you now. Do you think Jennie is being unfairly targeted lately? Do you feel like the criticism she gets is justified? Or has it crossed the line? And where do we draw the boundary between holding idols accountable and just bullying them? Sound off in the comments. I really want to hear from both blinks and non-blinks on this one. Let's have a real discussion about how we treat idols when they're most vulnerable. And if you made it this far into the video, you already know. Thank you. This channel is all about respectfully talking through the highs and lows of K-pop, and I love that we can do that together here. Don't forget to hit like, subscribe if you haven't already, and drop your thoughts below. Until next time, this has been Anyang Buzz, and I'll see you in the next one. Stay kind, stay curious, and as always, stay buzzing.